Hi, Jennifer Witt here with the Witt Law Group. I'm here to talk about restraining orders, protection orders, and no contact orders, and what is the difference or differences between the three. So stay tuned for my video on that topic. Hi, Jennifer Witt here from the Witt Law Group. Today I'm covering no contact orders, protection orders, and restraining orders. And if you're confused by those three orders, you are not alone because they're kind of tough. There are a lot of orders. Like within protection orders, there are 7 or 8 types of protection orders. So what I'd like to do is start with how do we differentiate no contact order from protection order from restraining order. So I'm going to try to give you a bit of a framework. The first thing you want to think of is what is the relationship between the alleged victim and the alleged perpetrator or respondent. In civil cases, we use respondent. In criminal cases, we use defendant. So in, for example, a family relationship or roommates or ex-spouses or current spouses, that is a domestic relationship. So you will, as I go through this, you will understand why we differentiate the types of orders based on a relationship. Second of all, and maybe this should be first, is there a crime being alleged? Has an individual been accused of a crime? So now they're a defendant rather than just a respondent. And 3, what is the type of behavior? Is the person assaulting somebody, physically assaulting them? Are they harassing them or maybe stalking the person? So we have types of orders based on behavior, relationship, and whether a crime is involved. We here at our firm handle just no contact orders. And it's not the no contact order that we're handling the underlying crime, the charge that the person's been accused of. So if you've been accused of assault for domestic violence, we are managing or assisting the defendant in understanding what a no contact order means for them as it relates to their criminal charge. And a lot of people say domestic violence as the charge. In Washington state, it's actually not the actual crime. It is a special allegation attached to a crime. So that's why I say assault for domestic violence or with the special allegation of domestic violence. And that just means that there is a certain type of relationship between the defendant and the alleged victim. So that would be a no contact order. No contact orders, again, relate to criminal charges in Washington. You will not have a no contact order in a civil issue. That would be a protection order or a restraining order. So we've covered no contact orders. We have a crime involved. And the type of no contact order will again depend on the relationship. It might be a domestic violence related no contact order. It might be related to a sexual assault no contact order. But again, when you're talking to a defense attorney or a prosecutor, we just generally use the word no contact order. We don't differentiate the types. So second, we move to protection orders. And in the state of Washington, I think there are now like 7 or 8, anti-harassment, stalking, domestic violence, vulnerable adult. So we have all of these types of protection orders. And what they are is essentially like a no contact order, but there has not been a crime committed yet, or the respondent is not yet a defendant. They have not been accused by the state of committing a crime. So a person may seek a protection order because they think that the respondent is doing something that fits into that category, harassment, stalking, or there's a domestic relationship and the person's been abused, but a crime has not yet been alleged. So you may feel your spouse is abusive and you want to seek a protection order, but the police haven't been involved yet, the prosecutor isn't involved yet. That would be a civil domestic violence protection order. And so we have a relationship. We look at the relationships. We look at what is the conduct. Is the person harassing you, stalking you, abusive to you? So that's your protection order. Again, no crime has yet been alleged by the state. So you are seeking or petitioning for a protection order. Protection orders generally will have a temporary protection order, and then after a period of time, after usually 14 days, the respondent, the person you're accusing of the behavior, will appear and respond to the allegations. And the judge will either make it a permanent order or say you haven't met, the grounds for the petition, and the order will go away. And it doesn't mean you can't reapply and petition for that again. Maybe you didn't serve the individual properly, or there wasn't enough notice. But again, you have a temporary and then a permanent order. Restraining orders are very similar to protection orders, with the caveat we have a domestic relationship. We have a family law case pending. So if you are, for example, in a divorce proceeding, custody proceeding, child support issue before the court, and you believe the other person is stalking you, harassing you, is assaultive in some way, you would, in that case, seek a restraining order. And generally speaking, the judge on that family law matter would issue the restraining order. Sometimes people aren't represented by an attorney, or they don't tell their attorney. Maybe they don't, something happens to where they don't seek the restraining order in that forum. And instead, they go outside to Superior Court and do it themselves and get a protection order. Technically, it's not correct. Technically, if you have this pending family law issue and the respondent in that issue, in that case, is harassing you, and you want to get some protection, you would get a restraining order in that case. However, a judge generally, if they're reviewing the matter, will not deny the order based on that you're technically in the wrong court or asking for the wrong title of the order. They both provide the same protection. So you might be seeking a domestic violence protection order, again, protection order, when in fact you really should be seeking the restraining order. But again, they provide the same protection. You can do it in the state of Washington. It's just not technically the proper form. And the judge may advise you of that, but still put the order in place. So again, no contact order is a crime, and the special allegation in addition to the no contact order may be listed depending on the type of crime: domestic violence, sexual assault, for example. So, but again, no contact order only in criminal cases. Protection order, it's the bigger, broad category of how to protect people, and their 7 or 8 types will depend on what the behavior is and what the relationship is. And then you have this smaller category of restraining order, which generally is supposed to be reserved for family law or domestic cases. So if you're trying to figure out where you fit in there, the vast majority of people should be or are attempting to seek protection orders. And remember to, wherever you are, when you're seeking that, and again, I'm referring only to Washington, ask the court clerks the proper method of notice or process, service of process, because the respondent has to receive proper notice to respond to the allegation. And so you want to make sure you're doing that properly and that they're getting enough the time period to respond. So again, ask the court. They can't give you legal advice. No, they're not allowed to. That would be the unauthorized practice of law. So don't push them on that. They can't tell you, and they're not trying to be mean or unhelpful, but they can't give you legal advice. But they can tell you where you can get some, the rules or protocol for service, and what the protocol is in that court, and when those hearings are held, typically on Fridays. They're different everywhere, but so find out that from the court clerk, usually in Superior Court across our state. May be different where you are, but hopefully that helped you understand the 3 types, and most importantly, how to petition for that and how long it may last, whether it's temporary or becomes permanent. If you are facing a no contact order, or someone in your family is, again, because they are really facing a criminal charge, and you want to understand how to manage that and navigate that in your case, and you want assistance on with criminal defense, please reach out to our firm in Western Washington. We'd love to help you. Thank you for watching. If you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe so we can get more of it out there. Thank you.